Good morning. My name is Valen Holly, and I'm the emergency case manager here in New Orleans. And I'm originally from Mobile, Alabama, but I've been in New Orleans for about going on 3 years now. And bad weather and bad driving is a thing that Mobile and New Orleans has in common. So that's just a little bit about me.
Good morning. I'm Natalie Transo, and I'm the emergency case manager at Fleet and Family in Dahlgren, Virginia. I recently moved to Virginia from coastal North Carolina, and we experienced a lot of hurricanes there. The most recent was Hurricane Florence, and we did have to evacuate, and we had lots of damage done all around our little town. So I guess, Valen, go ahead.
For those of you that are watching and don't know, hurricane season does begin June 1st and it ends November 30th. So far, there have been 17 named storms, 8 hurricanes and 3 to 4 major hurricanes. And the United States in 2020 saw 6 hurricanes that made landfall, and this year it's said to be more dangerous than last year. So we're looking at a lot of damage and a lot of things going on around that. So we just want to make sure you guys are as prepared as possible.
Right, as Valen said, this year is supposed to be more dangerous than last year. They're saying that we can predict about 4 to 5 hurricanes hitting landfall here in the United States in 2021, and at least 2 of them will be dangerous, category 3 or 4, with the landfalls more likely to occur in highly populated areas. And that would make 2021 the most dangerous hurricane season for the United States.
So with that being said, let us take a moment to talk about our emergency preparedness kits. You should have an emergency preparedness kit for your house and your car. And let's start with the emergency kit that you should have in your home. So we're going to give you some items that should be in your emergency kit. And at the end, if you want this checklist, you can send us an email or leave a comment, and we'll, with your email address or your phone number, and we will reach out to you and get you that checklist, and also answer any questions that you may have about emergency preparedness kits or emergency preparedness at all. So after an emergency, you're going to need to survive on your own for several days. Being prepared means you have your own food, your own supplies, and let's go over some basic items that you would need to have in this kit. First, you're going to need something to store these items in. You want to get a large bin. You can check your local hardware store, and you can get this item for about 10 to 20 bucks, depending on the size that you want or the size of your family. So that's something that you're going to want to think about when you're building this kit. It's not just like a small first aid kit. Is more so of like one of those heavy tubs that you would have, and you're going to want to store it somewhere safe in the house where you know it's not easily accessible, but you and everybody in your family knows where they can get that kit from or knows where it is. But now that you know what you need, let's talk about what goes in there. You're going to want to have food for at least 3 days. Water per person. You want to have a 3-day supply per person in the home, a gallon of water. That shouldn't run you much. You can check your favorite local grocery store. Most grocery stores now, since we're in this COVID environment, they have the option of delivering. So if you want to have your groceries delivered, me personally, I like my groceries delivered to me. I'm not big on shopping in the store. That's not my thing. I'm an online girl. Next, you're going to want to have a battery powered or crank operated radio. And they have those online as well. You can get one for about $16 to 60 bucks. That's totally, depending on your location, is really a big factor with this radio, because sometimes you may need it more in specific locations. The weather may be more severe than in other locations. They also have those radios that charge your phone, in case the power goes out. You're going to want to have that. And they're battery operated, but if you look online, you can definitely find one for about 16 to 60 bucks. Flashlights, one per person in the house. Natalie has a flashlight. She is ready. So yeah, you're gonna want to have your flashlight. Make sure those flashlights are always working. You're gonna want to check this flashlight and the batteries at least every
That's
3.
looking rough.
You got backup batteries over there, Natalie?
I do not, but I know I need to get some now.
But yes, you're definitely going to have those, and you can again your local home improvement stores, any store really, to get those. You can also get flashlights online. First aid kits. You're always going to need a first aid kit. We have a first aid kit in our house now, and also in the emergency preparedness kit that me and my daughter built together. It's also good to have the family involved in building the kit so they know what's in it. It's fun for the family. It's just a good activity. I recommend doing it on a rainy day if you haven't done it already. We love rainy day activities. But yes, the first aid kit, and you're gonna want to check your first aid kit because in case you guys did not know, first aid kits do expire. And what expires in the first aid kit? It could be the medicine, the wipes, those alcohol wipes. It depends on what's in your kit, but the overall kit does have an expiration date on it. Most of the time it's on the bottom. Sometimes it's on the back, but just be on the lookout for that. You got it.
Mine definitely expired. 2017. It's a little old.
Now we got to get you a new kit.
I got to get a new kit. Is right.
Yes, but you can get those kits. They range about $5 to $15. It depends on the size of your family again and what kit you decide. Me and my house, our kits costing about $10. I do have one in my car as well. I keep one in my daughter's bathroom, and we have one in the common area in the house, just because we never know. And we big on first aid kits around here, I suppose. Batteries. So for me and in my house, batteries are only a thing really birthdays and Christmas. Batteries are not something that I just go out and get, or that I think that I just need to have around. But in building my preparedness kit, I did make sure I had extra batteries. Batteries can be a little pricey, so you're going to want to look around for those. You can get them online really for about $10 to $16, and those are the AA batteries and the D batteries. The D batteries are usually the batteries that you need for your flashlight and the crank radios, but just check all the items that you have in your preparedness kit and make sure that you have the specific batteries that are needed for that. You're also going to want to test those batteries. After batteries are out for so long, they do tend to become weaker or expire. So you just want to make sure you're updating those at least every 3 months. You're going to want to have a whistle. They have whistles online. You can get a bulk of whistles for about $5, or you can go to your local home improvement store or any local store, and you can get those whistles for at least $1. But it's just totally up to you and the size of your family. The whistle is to it's usually like a signal in case you guys need to let somebody know where you are. They can hear your whistle. The plastic sheeting and duct tape. You definitely need to check your local hardware store for that. You also can look online. The duct tape will run you about $3. The plastic sheeting will run for about $10 to $25. And this is just to cover the windows and the doors, the open spaces in your home in case you do have to prepare for a storm. You're gonna need those moist towelettes, garbage bags, and plastic ties. So those plastic ties, this day, I really didn't know they didn't make the garbage bags without the drawstring, but they do. And if that's your family's preference, they do have those ties. You can get those ties online, like for $3, or you can just go and buy the drawstring bags. They'll range you from about $5 to $15, depends on the size of your family again, and what brand you and your family particularly prefer. Those moist towelettes, you can get those anywhere online. Again, I say online a lot, y'all. I am an online shopper. Natalie is somewhat prepared. We still got to get her kit unexpired. So
these don't expire, I don't think.
They probably, I don't know if they have those I definitely don't know if I'm sure they have an expiration date on them. But just remember them sitting in there, make sure they're closed because they will dry out.
Yeah.
In mind. And yeah, we're gonna get you together now. Don't worry about it. You're gonna want to have a wrench or some pliers in your kit as well. These will run you about $4. You can get them at again, online or at the local home improvement store. When the pliers will be used to turn off like the water and the other appliances that you have in the house. If you can't do it, don't do it. Get someone who can do it. Remember to keep your safety first when you are trying to prepare your home for an emergency. Also going to want to have a manual can opener in that kit. These days they have the little pop tops on the emergency kits, but not all do. So if you want to get a can opener, so you won't have to fight with the can. I know we're all used to the electric can openers or the pop top, but in the event, you're definitely going to want to make sure you have one. Those will run you at the max $10. So just make sure you get the one that you like. I definitely recommend having that in the kit. Local maps, I want to tell y'all to not depend on your phone in these situations. Get the map from online, off your phone. Just make sure make sure you print a map that will get you to that will have at least 4 or 5 routes to your family's designated evacuation location, different shelters, gas stations along the ways to these routes.
Emergency route.
Right. All these routes that you're taking, make sure you have those maps in your emergency kit because, again, we can't depend 100% on our phones in these situations. And we typically forget that we can't depend on our phones as much. Towers may be down and the internet may not be working. So we just want to keep that in mind. The cell phone chargers with the backup batteries, you can get those online. They'll run you about $9.99, maybe less. You don't have to get a fancy one. You just want to make sure you have one and that you can charge it. The life on them may be about 10 hours or so or less. It's an average of 10 hours, but just make sure that you're able to access it and you can charge it and not to use it on playing games on it when we're in an emergency, because you're going to want to use your phone. You may need to use the flashlight on your phone. You may need to see something on your phone really quick, but you don't want to kill the battery just by playing the game or something on your phone when we're in the middle of an emergency. And I have told you guys about those kits that you need in your house. Well, again, you don't need a super big kit. It does depend on the size of your family. Just one of those little bins you can get at your local home improvement store or online. Again, favorite online shopper. But I need to talk to you about what goes in your house. Natalie's going to take the time now to tell you about what should be in your emergency kit for your car.
Right. So as Valen said, just like in your house, you probably want to have some first aid kit in your car. One that's not expired would probably be preferable. And you can get that online too, or your local hardware store. You want to have some jumper cables in case you need them. And for these, you want to make sure that you know how to use them, and you want to make sure that you know where your battery, how you hook it up, because like my car, I learned recently when I went to go jumpstart someone else's that I can't get to mine. They're not, only the positive is accessible and the other one's covered by plastic. So I would be absolutely,
I don't know where mine is either.
Right. I'd be no help. I have them in my car if you need them, but you want to have flares, reflective triangles. Here's some of the things. May have these kits too online, or you can go to your local hardware store. Want to have ice scrapers, cell phone charger, like Valen said, and the backup battery. They're pretty small, portable. You want to make sure you have a blanket. And this is all stuff that I just pulled out of my car this morning. So I definitely have a lot of things that aren't expired. You want to make sure that you have a map, like Valen said. We have these that come, just a little case. It has like a flashlight, a pen, has your like, pocket atlas. And they also have the tire pressure gauge, which just fell on the floor. You want to have cat litter and sand too, in case you need that for traction. And, during COVID, you definitely want to have lots of masks with you, especially right now. Hand sanitizer is good too to have. You never know when you're going to need that. Wipes as well.
Okay, so now I'm going to tell you about this. So this set here, what I'm going to talk about, it still is for your house, but it's also, it's an individual based checklist. And I call these the oh yeah items. And I say that because when you hear them, sometimes you're like, oh yeah, I could use that. Or, oh yeah, I do need that. I just named them oh yeah because every time I was like, when I was reading and building my kit, I was like, oh yeah, I never thought about that, or I really could use that. So yeah, so since the spring of 2020, the CDC has recommended to include this particular set of items in your kit. And it's going to want to be the mask, soap, hand sanitizer, disinfectant wipe, and disinfectant like facial wipes and things like that. You can actually buy these in a bundle. You get them online for about $5 or $6, or you can buy them individually. I know everybody now like has masks all over the place, have wipes and sanitizer on us, but again, they do have kits that have all these items in there. And prescription medication and eyeglasses, I say start a list and write these items on a list, because with the prescription medication and the prescription glasses, you can't just keep that in the kit because you're limited to how many refills you have and how many times you can get new glasses or things like that. So keep that in mind, just keep it on a list. And when it's time to update your list, just make sure you update your medication list and remember, okay, I need glasses in the kit, or just to have your glasses, but just have it on that list so that you will know that that is something that you're going to need in the case of an emergency. The non-prescription medication and contact solution, get that at your local pharmacy. Keep that in your kit, but also keep in mind that medication and contact solution does expire. So you're going to want to just keep that in mind, but also keep it in your kit. And again, remember, this stuff does expire. And we can't forget our little babies, formula, diapers, diaper rash cream, things that we need for the baby. This stuff is expensive. I'm speaking from experience, so we don't want to have it just sitting in the kit to just get old or just forget about it, because these kids grow so fast. So the diaper size may have changed, and we just don't want to have those old expensive diapers sitting in our kids. And the formula, it may expire, or we may need it, and we can't just keep it in the kit. Again, put that on the list that we already have started. And when you need it to update it, when you update your kit every 3 months, the diaper size changed, updated. The formula has changed, updated. We're no longer on formula, just want to keep that updated. And that diaper rash cream does have an expiration date, so keep that in mind as well. And cash. You don't want to have cash in your kit. I think a responsible party in the house should be responsible for the cash in the kit, only because when I walk past my closet, I'm like, some money in that closet, and I could do something with that. But then I have to think that, I know me, I'm not gonna replace it. I'll be like, I'll keep procrastinating with it. So, will I ever update it? So that's the only thing that keeps me from not touching it, because I know that I'm probably not gonna replace it. But you're gonna want to have small bills, because these machines may be down in the stores and they can't open the cash register, and you may find yourself paying $20 for a loaf of bread or $20 for some paper towels because you only have those bills. So get ones if you can. Your bank will give you ones, as many as you want. So just keep that in mind. Sleeping bags in case you have to evacuate, or if your family wants to make this a fun thing and everybody just come together in the living room or a safe area in the house and sleep in the sleeping bags on the floor, so you all are just together. You can get those at your local hardware store or online as well. And a change of clothes for at least 2 to 3 days per person. Keep that in the kit as well. Remember, we all grow bigger, smaller, taller. So just remember that you have that stuff in there. And again, when you're updating your kit every 3 months, make sure stuff still fits. Make sure it's good. You may have to wash it again. Just to keep it fresh. I would recommend like very comfortable clothes, maybe like some jogging pants and a sweatshirt or a t-shirt. Nothing too fancy, nothing too heavy because you want to be comfortable. You want to be able to move as quickly as possible as you can. Well, we're gonna need matches in there and feminine supplies and personal hygiene items. Depending on the brand you use, they do sell the like the deodorant and the soap in kits, and you can get those online. The personal hygiene items, they definitely have those in a kit with the toothbrush, toothpaste, the floss, the soap. Online, local store, totally up to you, but they do have it. That just depends on the brand, and you can get those for about $5 to $15. Those kits that have the paper plates, the paper cups, the forks, the plastic utensils and the paperware. And I recommend you getting the party pack that has all that stuff in there, but that just depends on the size of your family as well. Or you can, buy that stuff individually, but you do want to have it in your kit.
I think they have some of that in the camping sections, usually in the stores too, like
yeah,
all together.
They would, yep. Paper and pencil, because you never know what you may need to write down, or you can have a pen. I know pencil sometimes you just find a pencil and you're like, this pencil doesn't even, it's not even sharp. So just got a pencil in there. Pens do go out, so mechanical pencils, anything, But while updating your kit, you'll know, you'll check that stuff and make sure it's still working, or see what you need to do. Books, games, puzzles, activities for the children, because our iPads and stuff may not be working, or they may be working, and we want to keep as much life on them as possible, but we will need another way to entertain our kids. And so this would be a good time to introduce them to non-electronic stuff. I don't know how that'll go for your family, because some kids are really into their electronics. I have one of my own, so
I have too. Very into those electronics.
Our life, and the electronics help us too to get our little free time on and stuff. But we do have to consider in an emergency that they may not be working, so we do want to have additional activities for them to do, so they won't be too in an uproar or too worried or too concerned. So we want to keep them busy, but we can't count them out, and we can't count our pets out as well. I'm not a pet person. Natalie likes pets for whatever reason. I'm not judging her, but Natalie is going to tell you about what you should have in your kit for your pets if you have a pet.
I'm a pet person. I do have a dog and a cat and 2 children. And as I said, we did go through Hurricane Florence, I guess a couple of years ago now, but my children were out of school for 8 weeks. So as Fallon said, so it's important to have activities for them to do. We didn't have power for a little while. Our cell phones only worked if you drove out, got on the bridge. And I mean, it was pretty crazy. But yes, for pets, there are a lot of things that you can get for your pets. They have these like pet first aid kits. You can get these online or at the pet store. It's cute little kit. And the CDC also has these checklists, which if you email us, we can give you the link for this. And it's just all the things you want to have with you for a pet. You want to have food and water for at least 5 days. And with the food and water, don't forget you also need bowls. They have these like collapsible bowls that are like, you get them for free.
Oh yeah, my friend has one of those.
Yeah, just so you're not packing a ton of stuff. It's just small. A manual can opener if you need it, just like Valen said. Any medicine, any prescriptions, you probably want to put those in like a Ziploc bag. You want to make sure you have your collar and the IDs. You want to make sure that you have a leash for sure, or a harness if you need that. A travel bag, a crate, any grooming items, shampoo, conditioner, wipes. Wipes are really important. Cat wipes. We had to travel with our animals during Hurricane Florence, and it was not a fun experience. It was hard to get them in the crates because they were going a little crazy because we're running around trying to get things ready and get our car packed up. And what do we save? What's going to happen? So we had to use welding gloves to get one cat into the cage because she was going crazy.
Not having it.
Yeah, he was not having it. And then, of course, the inevitable happens and there's an accident in the car with the pet, and wipes, definitely key. I know. Yeah, see, this is why you don't have pets, Valid, huh? We had a sick child and a sick pet on that car ride. It was not fun.
Leave the pet or something.
Well, we did. We left. We ended up leaving our beta fish behind. And he survived. He made it through the hurricane.
Oh, well, good. See,
when everything was settled, though, I went to clean his tank, and that did him in for. He didn't have electricity or anything. His tank was filthy. The second I cleaned it, he was not too happy.
All right.
The children were not happy either because he was a good little fish. Any sanitation needs, pet litter, trash bags, wipes, like I said, a picture of you and your pet together. That'll help, document ownership, especially if you don't have like your animal chipped. You want to make sure that you have your most recent, certificate of vaccination or rabies tag. A lot of times, if you're going to go stay somewhere, you're going to board your pet, that needs that Bordetella shots. Make sure you have just all your information with you. These are something that you can easily just fold and put in a, the Ziploc bag too with your other items. If you go to stay at a shelter, usually they want to see that your pet is, has a rabies shot and everything at the very least. But if you're boarding them, the Bordetella shot is, kennel cough is pretty important. You also want to make sure you have like their favorite toys, treats, bedding, anything to help reduce stress. The same with children, the pets are going to be stressed out too. So just have to make sure you're prepared.
Fairness is key. That's why we are here. And okay. So if you guys want a checklist of what should be in your kit, our list will go a little more in detail. Just comment your email address, or you can send us an email or give us a call, and we'll definitely get back with you and get that kit to you. Or if you have any questions about emergency preparedness, don't hesitate to reach out to us, because that's why we're here. We're here for you and all of your emergency needs.